Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Bro Talk episode. I'm here with my bros, Bilal, Isaac, Mark G, and we got King Josiah in the back, or Prince Josiah. I seen him in the back. What up, nephew? So happy to be here today. Today we got quite a show. We're gonna talk about men being emotionally available, or maybe be emotionally available, maybe. But that's gonna be our topic. So we love for you all. If you have any thoughts, go ahead and hit us up in the comments. But before you do that, just tell us hello, tell us what's up. We love to hear from you. We want to know who's on the show. We normally do shout outs at the end, so we want to make sure that we capture all of that. The show is about fatherhood, brotherhood, and manhood, and everything in between. So, bros, how's it going? What's new on this Monday?
Man, it's a good day. It was a nice, nice weather out, despite how it started out a little chillier than last week, but we'll take it. I can't complain. It was a great weekend. Celebrated my wife's birthday all weekend. It was just what I mean. Enjoyed, man. Did different stuff. Did some painting, candle making, and so it was, and then we finished off with just family dinner and on yesterday. So it was a cool weekend. And my mother-in-law, she pressed her way out even though she had a procedure. So it was just like just to see people show up and come out, you know what I mean, and show her love was meant a lot.
That's what's up, bro. I saw the photos.
Yeah.
Ike, what you got?
Um, right now, just said peace out to my daughter. She's down there by you, Bruce. So she's took her eighth grade trip down to Washington D.C.
Okay.
I know we were talking about
Man.
this a couple weeks ago.
Already?
Yeah, I know, right? So we were talking about this a couple weeks ago. I know, and whether or not should I let her go, or is it time to give her that space to grow? But at the end of the day, definitely had to let her do it. Thinking back on my childhood and the opportunities like this that kind of just passes by, wasn't even a thought. Wasn't even really a conversation or an option about going on a trip like this. I had to let her do it, because she wanted to do it. And I think too, it just kind of gives her that chance to create that camaraderie with some of her friends. So I was a little nervous about making this happen or allowing this to happen, but at this point in the day, I think I'm feeling pretty good about it. The teachers and advisors that are on the trip are doing a great job keeping families informed about what's going on. They're sending updates, pictures throughout the entire trip. So I'm excited for her. Look forward to touching base with her throughout the week as she goes about this journey, and hope she has a great time. So
It take a lot to feel old these days. You just kind of accept it. But man, I just you said eighth grade chairman. I'm like, I went immediately back to Frederick Douglass, man, middle school, and our eighth grade trip to Philly. And so it's like, wait a minute, what our kids are going on these trips that what I mean, that we went on, and as
I know y'all was cutting up though. That's the difference.
Nah, man, we was cool, man. We was pranksters, like, you know what I mean? So we was, we would bang on people's door and take off running down the hall, stuff like that. But that, you know what I mean? Nothing too out of control. We just mischief, man.
Well, for me, man, I think for me, this is the best time of the year, man. I love seeing graduation, man. I love seeing people receiving their degree. If it's a bachelor's degree, master's degree, doctoral degree, all the degrees, man. High school degree, gonna move on to the college level. This is the best time of the year for me, man. Just being around and checking out people going to proms. They overdo proms and stuff like that. I don't really pay too much attention no more like that, to be honest with you. But as far as college graduation, No, now they're gonna go out in the real world or go ahead and get their master's degree, man. I'm for that. So for me, that's what I look forward to at this time of the year. You know what I'm saying? Celebrate these people, man, who needed to be celebrated because they have long nights. Some of them are single parents, single fathers, single mom. You know what I'm saying? Some of them is the first person in their family to do it as well. So they have to set the precedent, man, for the younger ones in their family and stuff like that. So I love this time of the year, brothers.
No doubt. Appreciate it,
Absolutely.
man. Yeah, man. I'm just happy to be alive, bro.
Yeah.
So yeah, we can get right into it. So today's topic was inspired by, I know we have our separate chat, and I've been watching the Forever series that was originally by Judy Blume, but Mara Brock Akil reimagined it using black characters and in an urban setting. But the story is really about these this young man, this young lady, they reunite after so many years, and then there's this journey that's being recorded about their love, in a sense. And we all remember that teenage love and exploring, and it's new and it's fresh, and just being that there was a scene where his girlfriend was like, yeah, can you just be on the phone with me till I go to sleep? And if I heard that today, I'd be like, heck nah. But back then at like 14, 15, 16, like we was all for, and back then we didn't have FaceTime back then, right? We just had the regular phones. So we just be on there till you hear somebody snoring.
Hello? Hello? You still there? Oh, yeah. I'm not asleep.
Yeah, I'm not asleep. I'm up. So we remember them times, man. So, it's definitely one of those films that's very nostalgic. But the reason why I bring that up is because there's been a lot of talk on social media about the father of the son. Name of the character is Justin. The dad's character name is Eric. And there's been a lot of talk about his emotional intelligence and about like how he handles situations, like how he interacts with his wife, how he interacts with Justin, his son, how he just kind of moves and kind of does his thing, man. But I think what people are most impressed about is the fact that there can be, or there is, and there's representation in this film of what a healthy, emotionally healthy black father looks like. And so I wanted to have that discussion with you bros because we're all fathers, and and we have women in our lives, and we have daughters, and we exist in the world, and we take up different spaces or whatnot. But I guess I just want to start the conversation off with, because I know most of you have not seen the show yet, but when we think about black men and we thinking about them being emotionally available, which is the title of the show here, like what is that? I guess we could just start with that. Like, what does it mean to be emotionally available?
That's a loaded question. It is
Like
but
potatoes.
it's good. It's a great question. But when I say loaded, I just mean there's so many layers to emotional availability. I think I want to frame it by kind of just looking back at my childhood, in the sense that I was raised by a father who was born in the 1940s, in the early 1940s. So like emotional availability for someone who, again, I don't know when, what I mean? Everybody's dad's age was, but what I mean? My dad would be in his 80s right now if he was still with us, what I mean? And so again, men born in that era, that time, the cloth was a little different. It wasn't, wasn't no huggy, feely, type type of love. You know what I mean? They showed they showed and expressed their themselves differently and expressed their love differently. I don't know how many of you saw the film Fences, but you know there's a scene where the son asks, he goes to Denzel, who's the father, and that character that Denzel played was played by James Earl Jones in the play, but he says, you know, why don't you like me? He said, like you. He said, you know, you live under my roof, you sleep in my bed. You know what I mean? You know, you eat food that I you know, out my refrigerator. You know what I mean? And he began to run down this list of things. He says, man, you know, I take care of you. I do right by you. He said, where not do I need to, you know, like you, or you know what I mean, kind of give off this. And it was a poignant scene to me in a dialogue, because there was a void that here it was the son was expressing, but the disconnect was generationally. You know, Denzel's character was expressing love the way he understood it, or internalized it from the man who raised him. Like, hey, and he tells his son, he says, man, as long as I'm doing right by you, he said, you think I go on that man's job and he paid me every week because he liked me? No, he paid me because he got to do right by me. You know what I mean? And so as long as he do right by me, you know, him liking me don't have to be a part of the deal. So I think emotional availability means so many different things and to so many different people, because of how we understand it now, and it looks a lot different now than it once did. And I think, you know, sometimes we hold past generations and our forefathers to you know, to a standard that they weren't exposed to, and understanding that they didn't have. So, you know, it just looks different. I think it's a great topic, though.
Yeah. I mean, I remember that scene vividly, man, and the passion that came from that character, man. That, like, yo, I'm sacrificing for you. Like, I'm making sure that you have not only all the things that you need, but I'm also trying to provide you with an opportunity to have a future that I don't have right now as a dad. You know, I don't want you working in the factory or working for the man, so to speak. Like, I want you to go and get an education. I want you to go off and live a life that's prosperous. And I think and I know y'all haven't seen it yet, but that is more or less like the mom's character. You know, she wants the son to go to college and to, you know, be successful and go to a very specific college that's going to be able to open up doors and provide opportunities, you know, for the son. But Ike, bro, I love to hear, you know, if y'all have any thoughts on this. And anybody in the audience, please hit us with the comments. We do read the comments. We do talk about them in the show. So if you have any comments or questions, hit us up.
Yeah. Bro, you going? I know you're on mute.
Go ahead, Ike.
Yeah, I think I know exactly what show you're talking about. I probably walked in on Ezra watching it and caught bits and pieces of it. So I can't say that I saw the whole thing, but yeah, I think from the perspective of, you know, being emotionally available, right? You know, as a man, you know, it's tough. Like, you know, I think it's a hard
100%.
position to put yourself in, because of the fact that in order to do that, you have to be vulnerable. And, you know, I think you can be, I think emotional intelligence is different than being emotionally available. From the perspective of like being emotionally intelligent, I can understand what people are going through. I can empathize and sympathize with people in those moments, and I can probably give them some sound advice based on that. But can I, in that same moment, put myself in a place where I could receive that feedback, or I'm putting myself out there to be vulnerable, and put myself in a place where, you know, I'm connected to this person, and I'm you know, telling them, you know, all of my feelings and my emotions, and, you know, putting myself in that vulnerable state, and being willing to allow them to judge me in that situation is tough at the same time. So, you know, for me, I consider myself emotionally intelligent. I know I can, you know, kind of feel how people are feeling. I can empathize and you know, empathize with people, you know, in certain situations, but I'm not the type of person that is going to allow myself to be vulnerable. And I think that goes back to just my different perspectives and upbringing of, you know, being a man and what a man should do and how a man should act. You don't necessarily tell somebody, you know, when you're you know, feeling sad or mad or upset, or, you know, and you just kind of hold those feelings within. Although we know that's not necessarily a healthy thing to do. That's just been my practice, you know, up until this point. So for me, it's a completely different thing. And as a Black man, someone that can be emotionally available, that can make those, you know, connections, that can be vulnerable all at the same time, that's a very special person to me. You know, I'm not there yet. You know, that's what I could say. I'm not there yet.
How about you, bro? Unless you want to say something, Bella? Or who wanna?
You on mute, bro.
Go ahead, B.
Now, you raised a great point, and it sparked a question. While I see the nuance, you know, in terms of difference between emotional intelligence and emotional availability, would we say that emotional intelligence, you know, or emotional availability is a part of, or a metric of emotional intelligence? Like, in terms of, let's say, you know, I might be, let's say somebody said, are you good at math, right? Like, yeah, I'm pretty good, you know, I'm you know, but I haven't necessarily got to calculus yet, you know. Like, I when I get to that point, now I'm, you know what I mean, I'm that much better at math, or I'm that good a math student, you know what I mean? So I think we can have a level of emotional intelligence, but you know, adding that that emotional availability to our own emotional intelligence, or when we tap into that, it makes us, you know, then I'd say we're like, you know, just, and again, I'm thinking in real time, because I, you know, I thought the statement you made was really interesting. But again, would like to hear your thoughts on, you know, are they mutually exclusive? Are emotional intelligence and emotional availability mutually exclusive?
Yeah, I don't know, you know, enough about the terms to be able to say one encapsulates the other. But for me, like, the way I view it from my perspective is that emotional intelligence would be a part of being emotionally available, right? Because of the way I described it. You know, I can you know, I can get you all the way up until the point where I need to now be vulnerable, right? You know, I'm with you. I'm empathizing with you. I understand what you're going through. I got you. But I got to continue to be strong, you know, in this moment, right? You know, so I'm not going to necessarily divulge everything. I'm not necessarily going to tell you all the things that, you know, I'm feeling, all my emotions, but I'm with you with yours. You know what I mean? I got your back. Like, I do whatever I can to help you get through it. But I don't know that I'm at a place where I can say I'm 100% emotionally available.
So, Bruce, you want to say something or?
No, I was just gonna
Okay.
ask bros, man, what is the definition? What is their personal definition of this emotional? What's it called? Emotional what?
Availability.
Available.
Yeah, I dropped something in the comments.
You know, like, because when you say that word, emotionally available, my definition would be someone who understand self, someone who seek knowledge to better self, so that they could be there for their family. Because sometimes we are put in a position where they may feel like, or our partners may feel like we need to know everything, and sometimes we just don't. We just don't know everything. So that's where the seeking part comes in. We have to seek certain things or ask questions. We have a network. We have older brothers, younger brothers, in between brothers. So we're good. All we have to do is just open our mouths and just ask questions, and the answers will come to us, right? So that's the great thing about being a part of our organization, being part of the brotherhood, PA Brotherhood. I can't speak on all the chapter. And being the father that we are, the provider, the caring person. But I think sometimes we get burnt out. I think that's what Ike was getting at. At times. We may get burnt out, and we may not know how to really express that part of the burnt out, because I don't think we should express it at times. I don't know. So those are the things that I've seen, and I'm just trying to listen and try to pick pieces out of it, because like you were saying, B, it was like a loaded potato. You know what I'm saying? And that was a perfect example of how to really look at that question. It's like a loaded potato. Different moving parts.
For sure.
Yeah, so I'm glad you brought up the brotherhood part, because that's the male to male aspect of it, relationship. I don't think it's the same when it's male to female all the time.
No.
Like I just by like looking at some of the stuff online and reading the comments, like, so I mean, it is what it is. But just thinking about the characters.
What you read, bro? What you read, man?
Yeah, just thinking about the characters, man, is that so the dad is real like cool, laid back, you know what I'm saying? Like he's like a New York cat, just kind of how the character is. And then mom is like high strung, like she's not out of control, but you could just tell she's like very overbearing, overprotective. And you could tell that the two of them really bring like a nice balance in terms of their relationship. And that's a lot of what people was talking about. But in terms of like what we're talking about, emotional availability, like when he's talking with her, like, yeah, she's saying a whole bunch of stuff, but it's like he know what to say in order to like try to quell the whatever the situation is, or he'll say what he got to say, and he not getting a whole lot. It's not a whole lot of back and forth that's happening, in terms of like the conversation. So you could tell that like he's available in the sense of like he's hearing her, he's listening, he's taking it in, he's taking notes, and he's also saying like this is what it is as well.
Yeah, I'm not that good. I'm not that good at it. It's like so like I said, I'm with you. Like I hear you, I understand. Like I'm empathizing with you. But at the end of the day, we gotta keep this train moving. You know what I mean? Like if we sit here and talk about the emotions around it so much and how I feel and what I think should happen, like with the case you said about their son, I don't know if you mentioned that part of it, but their son, making a choice on, what they wanted to do with their future.
Right.
And, mom reacted one way and dad was just like, yeah, I get it. You know what I mean? So because I connect with him in that situation, because like you about to go off and you about to either cry or yell or scream and get all upset and think about all these things in your head, because of what you thought this child's life should be about.
Yeah.
Not recognizing and understanding like what this child truly needs, right? Where this child is in their life. And I think that's the difference between, her perspective and what she saw, and then him recognizing where he was in this place, like recognizing what his son was telling him, right? Even though it wasn't exactly what he wanted to hear or what he thought he would be listening to, right? In that moment, recognizing where they were emotionally to be able to get to a point where I can like now open up to you and tell you this is who I am, this is what I want to do, this is what I want for my future. His response was one where I'm here, I'm supporting you, I got you, like we're gonna work through this together. Like the conversation isn't over right now just because this is what you said. That doesn't mean that I'm in agreement with you, but I recognize where you are in your life right now. So let's move this forward. Have some conversation around it, so you can help me to better understand this. Because just going off and being all upset and mad and all this, like where does that get you in that moment?
Yeah,
right?
but people do it so much though. They think like it's kind of weird to me. It's like, okay, all that happens, and I think all four of us are results people, right? We like, all right, so we did all that. So well, where did that get us? And it's like it just makes the situation sometimes even more worse.
Yeah, it makes it more toxic.
Mm-hmm.
You know though, it's interesting. And so when Isaac was sharing what I thought about, or what came to my mind was we've all seen the movie White Men Can't Jump, right? So there's a
first one and second one.
Original. We don't do reboots. You know what I mean? But in the movie, there's a scene where Rosie Perez's character brings up
classic
Rosie,
scene right here.
Yeah.
Rosie was bad in that movie, young. I don't know why she went with that white boy, man.
Stay focused.
Stay focused and stay woke.
Did I say that out loud?
So she tells
I saw that movie before I met Ezra. So
yeah. She tells Woody Harrelson's character Billy, right? She says, man, I'm thirsty. And so he gets up, grabs a glass of water, comes back, and she's like, so I said I was thirsty and you went and got me a glass of water. She says, when I'm saying something or I'm expressing myself, I don't necessarily want you to fix my problems. I want you to connect with me and again relate. And she said something crazy like, I want you to be like, I too know what it is to thirst. He said, yo, look, man, if I say I'm thirsty, that's my way of asking if anybody is around and would mind getting me some water or something, bring me a drink. You know what I mean? And so, my point is I think there's oftentimes where, I go back to kind of, it just takes me back to communications and how we communicate, or we say a lot, but how much of it is communicating, right? Or effective communication? Are we sending and receiving messages that are received? You know what I mean? And in turn, are we receiving the messages, the true message that's sent, right? Because there's the message and there's the meta message. What's being said on the surface level, and then what's really being said, right? So I think, decoding all that and having the ability to understand all of those nuances that go into it. And that's kind of why I went, where my mind went to, it's loaded, because, when you're talking about emotional availability, all that goes into communicating and how much you have to unpack and understand about communication. It takes a lot to really be able to, because somebody can say something and, again, and even the modem, whatever modality we use to communicate can impact it, right? So, in the Black community, we know it's a 2-word phrase that could mean a million things, right? I could say, you good? And depending on how that statement is phrased or framed, it could mean a lot of different things. I could be like, yo, you good? And you be like, yo, son, you good? Like, yo, like we about to square up. I'd be like, yo, you good? Like, oh, my bad, I just bumped into you. Or be like, yo, you good? I'm checking on you. How you doing? You know what I mean? It can mean so many different things. So I think it's that, you know what I mean? That's the nuance to just, again, understanding what the, emotional intelligence, emotional availability, and how it all kind of has this real, you know, I'm about to borrow one of Ike's words because we were in his office one day and he said, man, you know, we were talking about something specific, but he said it's an art, and communication is an art, just like, you know what I mean, what we were talking about, that like people think because they talk every day that they're good communicators, and they're not necessarily as good as they think they are. The same way people cook every day and feel like they, you know, they nice in the kitchen, and like, nah, you know, you're not nice like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It takes a lot to really be able to, you know, hone in, and that's in general. And you think because you might talk to this person that you live with every day, like on the show, if you know their spouse, you know what I mean, significant other, like you think because you talk to that person every day that you're good at it. But man, you know, I'm gonna borrow one of your something you said to me many years ago, Kareem. You said a soft tongue turneth away wrath, man. And so understanding how to take what was said and not internalize it personally, and how to get, you know, really be able to continue the dialogue going, so that way, you know, understanding is arrived at, as opposed to us ending up beefing, because you know, we end up beefing.
Yeah, I mean, but you know what? But I think the beef starts with what? What's up to Chris Vicente?
Uh-oh.
What up, bro?
I got a feeling this about to get spicy. Let's go, Kareem.
So Chris talks
What starts
about how you want me to read it? He said, I think men are vulnerable because vulnerability rarely, I'm thinking about to say, are not vulnerable because, and Chris, correct me if I'm wrong, are not vulnerable because vulnerability rarely benefits us, more often weaponized against us. I have to say that there's truth to this statement. You know, especially in relationships, because it and again, a lot of this, I'm reading a lot of comments on here, is that like, and women feel free to chime in, that, you know, sometimes folks say,
hey, be nice.
I'm being nice.
No, I'm not saying you. I'm just saying women. You said you just invited the women to chime in.
Oh, okay.
Be nice. Like Kareem is the one with the spice. That just opened up the spice rack. You know what I mean? So please be nice.
Listen, yeah. I got some seasoning too, man. I want to hear it.
So you know,
we know you reckless. We know you reckless.
So, you know, there's women who say they want their man to be emotionally available and to be vulnerable, but when he does, then either it don't get taken seriously, or it gets somehow turned against them because they're showing some vulnerability. And for me, it's like, yeah, like you just talked about earlier, right? You know, your dad being from the 1940s, my dad's from the 50s. There's a certain way that they move and operate. Like, we know our dads love us. They might not have hugged us as much, but we know that they love us, right? But we also know too, though, that they wasn't showing a whole lot of like emotion in terms of like vulnerability. You know, for them, it was just like what they felt what they saw the definition of being masculine or being male is. And I truly think sometimes, not all the time, that I think sometimes women want men to be like them, to be
like what?
To be like more in tune with their feelings, to be more vulnerable, and to be to like have that feminine energy. And I don't really agree with that. I think there's a masculine energy and there's a feminine energy, in that they both work together, but it's like trying to pull one stick to the other side.
Ain't got that.
I don't think that works.
Nah,
I don't.
Bruce like, bad man, I have no femininity.
Bad man, no femininity in a bad man title, boy. No. Wanna do feminine thing, my youth. You understand? No feminine thing over here. Bright.
So you ask your man to talk about his feelings. Oh, where are you taking us, Kareem? What I'm saying is that if this is really what I'm saying is that, like, just from watching the show and just looking at some of the comments and thinking about some of the conversation is, there has to be some responsibility on both sides of that in a relationship, right? So if you want your man to be like Eric in the show, well, that takes some work. And, one of the things that I don't, again, there's some spoilers in this, so I'm sorry, go watch it, is that you find out later that the mom went and had therapy, you know what I'm saying, and was working through some of her things and some of the stuff that, she went through, and that was insinuating that that's how, their relationship grew. Now, again, we only seeing the relationship at that point in time. We don't know how it was when, when he was struggling in the restaurant business. Like, we don't know. We also know that she held him down, for a time until he got his stuff together. And then, they was able to work, kind of move and, live the life that they live now. And so in the show, these people are well off, but it's kind of like if you ask for something, then, you also got to be able to handle it with care.
Yo, I wouldn't expect Calvin to say anything. Yo,
what up, Calvin?
Calvin, that little bro he one of the most ultra masculine brothers. From he was like 13.
That's my guy right there.
Calvin's so strong. Calvin, every post
and consistent.
Like, Nixon blood, like I'm letting you know, like ain't nothing. We ain't taking no shorts, no soft, no nothing. Like
I just hope them damn Cowboys do something this year. You know what I'm saying? Hey, last year I hear you, Calvin. Don't think we ain't gonna be in your, this coming year. Dallas fan, you hear that nonsense? You know what I'm saying? Hey, but we still love you though, man. That's my little bro right there.
What's interesting is Kareem, you made
no sweetness.
I just thought.
We don't woke up the bear, man.
No sweetness over here.
You said something, Kareem, and I thought it was really good. You talked about kind of you read Chris's comment and it was the emotional availability that or the vulnerability that we sometimes don't see is a byproduct of having experienced or internalized that vulnerability being weaponized against us. And so I think that's, growing up where we grow up, and again, and I know everybody grows up in a different environment, you know what I mean? You grow up in a hood, and the reality is that any sign of vulnerability is seen as an opportunity to be preyed upon. You know what I mean? Because, it's dog eat dog in a lot of ways, you know what I mean?
Yep.
So we internalize like this harder exterior and you know what I'm saying, and we project that, and then again we get to a phase in life where we don't have the same conditions of environment surrounding us, and we have to be reconditioned because if you're going to be in a successful, lasting, long-term relationship, you're going to need to be emotionally available. You know what I mean? And so to some degree, I'm not saying it don't happen in stages and phases. You're going to be completely emotionally available from day one and all that. But what I am saying is that you can't be like, straight hardcore, you know what I mean, all the time. That's not going to work. It doesn't lend itself to being in a successful, healthy relationship. You know what I mean? So you have to get to a space where you can, lend yourself to your partner so that way they understand. And you have to trust that in my moments of vulnerability, it's not gonna come back. You know what I mean? Like,
or they just gotta take you seriously.
B, I just think they call understanding. B, it's not nothing sweetness. It's not nothing. They don't want us to be feminine, like feel their feminine side. We can't do that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they may have some dudes out there that could do it. You know what I'm saying?
I ain't one of them though.
But we're not. We could understand. We could say, okay, babe, we understand your feelings. This. I get it. Okay, how do we work past this?
I'm saying, but what about when we feel, right? What about when we,
I don't always think what we feel matters, bro. I think that if I can ask 10 dudes right now, I put money on it 7 out of 10 and be like, yeah, our feelings don't matter.
But again, I think if they authentically feel that way, I think that's a space or a place that needs to be communicated with their partner, and communicated maybe in a way where it's like maybe we're not equipped to be able to work or resolve through that on our own. Maybe we need to, get with somebody who can help us navigate that, because here's what happens, right? Somebody has a truth, right? Somebody has a truth, and you have a truth.
Mm-hmm.
And if they're differing, then we, we like, well, no, I don't feel like your feelings don't matter. You like, well, what do I do, or what happens that make you feel like your feelings don't matter? And then someone says something that gets refuted, and now it's just back and forth. And I ask this oftentimes: Are we speaking or communicating to respond, or are we actively listening to understand? You know what I mean? And a lot of people, they listen, and they'll, like, you might say, you ever been in a situation where you be like, man, I said all that, and all you got out of it was
been there. Yeah, done that.
Hey, listen, do not incriminate yourself, sir. I don't listen. I want you.
Hey, man, I'm a human being, man. I mean, I didn't say when. I didn't say when it happened. I'm just saying, I want you to have a good night, bro. I'm gonna have a good night, man.
I'm just saying in general. But oftentimes that's a byproduct of somebody listened and was, what they heard something, and they started framing their response or rebuttal to that point.
Yep.
And there was a whole lot left said that then didn't get, you know what I mean? You like, hold on, I said all that. You know what I mean? And that's why it's important to be able to communicate from a listening ear, and not, and be patient through the process of communicating.
But you know what that takes, B? You know what that takes?
Emotional intelligence.
Come on now with it.
I be listening to Ike.
And I would also say it takes emotional maturity, because there, you know what I mean? Like,
I don't think you can have emotional intelligence
without having them. Yeah. I agree with that. We got some comments flowing in.
Listen, Calvin, you are
flowing in here.
Listen, I love you, Calvin, man. You going hard body.
But he's telling the truth. It's the truth. It's the truth. Calvin, I need to be. Calvin, I need to be happy too, bro.
Undermine what it is that
I need to be happy too.
That is why we are not.
I don't care none of that nonsense. Whilst I'm happy, I'm good too. So.
But I do think there's substance in what Calvin said. Yo, shout out to Mr. Anthony
we got to do
Jordan.
it. Yes, sir.
Yo, Mr. Who?
Mr. Anthony Jordan.
Anthony Jordan.
So, listen, that's the GOAT right there. Yeah,
Rochester legend, NFL player.
Yep.
Yeah, K-State legend.
Kansas State. He's still repping Kansas State all the time.
Y'all got one, man. Y'all got one legend, man. Keep it up, man. What's wrong with y'all?
Stop it.
He's also a Q as well, so we don't take that against him.
We all hold it against him. But no,
he made one bad mistake, one mistake in his life. But everything else.
He was young. We all, in our younger days, we all did.
We love them too, man. We show them love too, man.
Nah, no doubt.
But I do think even that, though, what Calvin says on the back end of that, where, you know what I mean, I think looking and seeking and being intentional about making sure our partner is happy, is you know what I'm saying, happy or satisfied. I think that's one of those dynamics where when I always speak of love in these terms. Love is other oriented, right?
Right.
The moment, right? So I could not carry my children, right? That's not what I was physiologically, biologically created to be able to do. So because my wife, I mean, I remember one time I had a true story. I had
B.
no.
Hold up, man. I don't want to make this too long, man.
No.
The reason why I say that, you can't carry the child, and she can't put the child in. They go hand in hand, bro.
Right.
Let's go hand in hand. So I don't want you to take credit away from yourself just to try to prove a point. You know what I'm saying?
But
we have to lay it down. You know what I'm saying?
True.
That water that comes out, man, that we desire, that comes out of us.
During that pregnancy, my son, he and even when he first got here, he would not sleep through the night. And he was like that in the womb. He never slept through the night. So she would have a hard time getting to sleep because he wasn't sleeping. So by the time, so she'd finally get to sleep whenever he decided to go to sleep when he was in the womb. And one night I woke her up. I had a dream. I was like, yo, I dreamed we had a boy. She's like, man, you woke me up to tell me this? And it was, we laugh about it now, but I say that to say, I always was intentional when my kids were born. I got up and changed diapers. I got up and gave bottles. I did, you know what I mean? Because again, I couldn't, she had to deal with that when I could roll over and just go to sleep with no problem. She was having to stay up because little dude wouldn't sleep in the womb. So my point is that it's other oriented. You can't get, I couldn't, it would have been to me shallow to be like, yo, every night I get up and make the bottles or change the clothes. You know what I mean? Like, yo, you know what I mean? When you're conscious of one another, when you're other oriented, I feel like, you know what I mean? It's reciprocated. That's the way, you know what I mean? You want the
not all the time though, bro.
The vehicle of your relationship to work is in that mode of reciprocity.
Yes.
Being other oriented.
Look at Josiah, bro. Josiah's mother never wanted to give him a bath. She never wanted to shower him, bro. I'm the one that gave Josiah a shower every day all the way up till he was 1 year old. Bro, she didn't want to get up and feed Josiah. She used to have an attitude and wonder why the kid is crying. You know what I'm saying? And while she feeding the kid is still crying. You know what I'm saying? So I say that to say I was the one, I have to give her a couple rude boy, big man talk, Jamaican style. I can't say it on the show because it's a family, you know what I'm saying? Until I said, yo, when my youth wake up at nighttime, I'll feed him. No problem. I was getting up at 2 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 6 o'clock. He woke up every 2 hours. You know what I'm saying? And I make sure everything was ready. I have everything was ready for him. As soon as I just go pick him up, bro. And he just sat there, he just chilled, he looked at me and he just drank his bottle. You know what I'm saying? And that's why me and my man is close up to this day. And she don't get the picture. I think she be wondering why me and this boy is so close. You know what I'm saying? From a child, man. So it's not every mother's do certain things and get praise for it. You know what I'm saying? And for me, man, I'm gonna toot my horn. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna toot my horn when it comes to that little man. At the end of the day, no, I'm the one giving him a bath. She's like, oh, I don't want to put him in the water. And I show her how to do it. She didn't want to do it. I was doing it every day. I come home by 8 o'clock. I come home 8 o'clock in the evening from work, bro. My son ain't bath yet. What I do, I come in, man, with a little smile on my face because I know my blood pressure is, is up a little bit. And I just come in and just give my son a bath, make sure the butt warm, and I do all that good stuff, man. And make sure he's clean and everything. She refused. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if she was going through that. I forgot what they call that.
Postpartum. It's real.
Probably. Yeah, probably.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know what the hell she was going through. You know what I'm saying? But I think she probably still going through that now because she's still the same.
But bro, you were emotionally available for your son, though. Like that right there was the definition of it right there.
Hey, hey, I'll take that. I'll take that.
Yeah. I mean, that's why the bond is tight.
I'll take that.
So man, there was something I saw on here and I can't remember. Yo, shout out to Tracy, man.
Yo,
Tracy.
I'm gonna tell you, Yo, Tracy,
Williams.
bro. Tracy came to BMA and put together a whole basketball hoop for them boys, man.
Oh, you did? I didn't know that.
Bro was working, man.
Hey, Trace, man, I'll be for the
Trace.
streets too, Trace. I'll be for the streets too.
Chris,
Man,
Hey,
Tracy gonna be working.
I learned something from my brother, man. Your happiness is important, man.
Chris said,
I ain't gonna call his name, but you know what I'm saying?
That's a good point. Our happiness as men is also important.
Yes.
Because you got we got men going to the grave dying. Ike shaking his head like that. I know. There's men going to the grave right now.
Hey, man.
Not happy. Like they died not happy because
my younger brother told me that a long time ago, Trace. I ain't gonna call his name. He's like, yo, man. You know what I'm saying? He said a few words, I can't say it on the show, but yo, your happiness is important, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's why I feel so bad for these young dudes, man. Because I feel like some of these chicks, they don't feel that way. It's all about what can I get out of you, right?
Yeah. But I think, but I, you know, and I listen. This is just how I genuinely feel. We have a lot of young brothers who going about it the same way, right? We got I can't think of the platform. I don't really watch his podcast, but there was a brother that was sitting on the couch and was like, "Yo, what do you bring to the table?" He was like, "Yo, I bring this."
Kevin Samuels,
huh?
Kevin Samuels.
No. I know him.
Oh, okay.
It's the no Fugazi dude, right?
Yeah. I think that. Yeah. So, but he was like, "Yeah, what do you bring to the table?" And he sat back real nonchalant, like, "Yo, like when you're going into the dynamic on that kind of energy, there is no room for us to kind of come in this like we can't be looking at it as transactional. If we go in from a transactional perspective from the door, there's that relationship is doomed before it gets started. You know what I mean?
How do you go into a relationship though if it's not transactional?
But again, if we're going in before we even get before we even get a chance to know one another, we on some, you know, like what you bring to the table type stuff. Like, yo, we haven't even gotten to know each other. You know what I mean? Like, let's get to know each other.
Let's clarify what get to know each other means, because in the show, get to know each other,
not in the biblical sense. I mean, not in the biblical sense of getting to know.
Man. We got,
but that might be part of the transaction. Like, so my thing is, like, I think everybody goes into any type of relationship. Anytime you like try to create a new relationship, whether it's platonic, whether it's emotional, whether it's a relationship, whether it's a business relationship, you're going in looking for some type of transaction. What level of transaction are you? Look, what level of transaction or what type of transaction is a bad transaction versus a good transaction? You know, I guess that's the question I'm asking.
So my thought is so if I go to if I'm looking for, you know, a suit to wear somewhere, right? You know, I know what I'm looking for.
$50. That's all I got.
There we go, right? So but I might go in a few, and my wife will tell you, she's like, I literally do this. I'll be like, I'm gonna go in a few different stores, and even if I gotta backtrack and end up back at the first store, I want to go and kind of feel out, see what they have, and how I might get handled in the stores that I'm going to patronize in. You know what I mean? All of that may lend itself to, you know what I mean, to whether or not I choose to patronize there. So in terms of the experience, there may be somebody who's like, listen, the suit costs a little more here, even though it's the same there. But over there, when I walked in the door, nobody said a word to me. The moment I walked in this door, it was like, "Hey, how you doing, sir? How can I help you?" Like, "Oh, you just want? All right. Well, listen, I'm right over here, and if you need me, yo, I'm here." You know what I mean? Like, "Oh, shoot, man! Like, man, like, yo, all right, yo, check this out, man. Can I see that?" And now you have you're walking away from that experience, and you're saying, "Man, I'm gonna choose to make my transaction here as opposed to there." But again, there's a lot of.
But that's what you were looking for going into it, right? Because on the other hand, like I've been furniture shopping, right? And you know, every time you walk into a furniture store,
they on you
whether
like,
it's
whoa.
Value City, whether it's Ashley, and I'm gonna name them because just because, right? No matter what store you go in, Bob's or whatever, like there's always somebody there waiting for you at the door. And when you walk in that door, you already know what they're going to ask you because this is the third store you done been into. What are you, they're going to ask you that question. What are you looking for? I know what I'm looking for. Just let me go look, right? And that might be at that point what you're looking for. I just want to go walk around. I want to see if there's something that is there for me. And I don't want you to bother me until I ask you a question. So I think it all depends on, again, what you're going into that situation looking for. And I think there has to be some type of conversation for that. I just know for me, like if it is so with that point, like for me, like if I were a young dude and I'm going and looking for a relationship and the first person I'm talking to somebody and they said that I gotta give you this or I need this, that, and that. Listen, y'all know me well enough to know that when I go quiet, I'm not interested anymore, right? It's over at that point.
But let me ask you a question: Are you leading with Yo, what do you bring to the table?
Hey,
you're not leading with that energy either.
Because that's not the energy that I went in with. That's not what I was looking for.
This new energy with these women nowadays, man, because they have a list of places you can't take them to eat, B. Back in the day, Red Lobster used to be great. You can't take these chicks to Red Lobster no more.
Man.
You understand what I'm saying? You can't. What's other places? It was a list out. Right, and for me, because I know I'm old school, I look at it, I laugh at it. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, Tracy
is wild.
Dude, yo. He's so wild, too. Man. Sorry, bro. Yo, read Tracy comments, man. Yo.
Hey,
Tracy
we're not even gonna read that one, Tracy. We just gonna let it live, man.
Yeah. Thank you, Trina. Thank you, Trina, because I agree. Like, you know what's crazy? This how disconnected, and I'm gonna say this, man.
That's the name of the list.
She said that's a millennial list. Not that.
Oh, okay.
Here's what just it's just crazy to me because I really feel like I'm sometimes detached from like real life.
Applebee's got some good food. She better drop it like it's hot for you, boy.
And Cheesecake Factory got options like you wouldn't believe. They got a book for a menu. So you can't crap on Cheesecake Factory.
Yo, we got to talk about this stuff a little bit more, bro, because
my mind don't even wrap around. Like my mind doesn't wrap around what I just read. Like you know what I mean? Like to come out and say and make a statement like my legs don't open for Applebee's like that I feel I don't even know that I'm like, is this real life or is this really just like we in a like a I don't know, the Twilight Zone or something. What my wife said.
That's wisdom right there. See, that came from your wife. That's wisdom right there, boy.
Listen.
Hey, Shatoya. First I want to say congratulations on getting your degree. And all the good stuff that comes with. Happy birthday too. I know I already sent you a birthday shout out. No worry. When I come up, I'll make some curry. You'll get a place. I know
she like that jerk. She be like yo,
jerk.
She like yo, right. Brew made jerk. Whenever I get jerk wings from you, they be for the wife. Like we split them.
I got you. Like I got you when I come up.
We be dogging the wings out.
Toya, just let me know, or B, just let me know when.
Yeah,
I got you, bro. Yo, but you know what I mean?
Crazy, I don't know who these women are, man, but yo, steer clear, bro.
Love sis.
What? Stay safe out there, boys. Stay safe.
Yeah, it's the truth, man. And my wife and Trina here.
Trina, I don't know how we're gonna save them, Trina.
But what I think Trina is speaking to is you need these seasoned wives and women to let these sisters know, like
they don't want to listen to them,
bro. I think Shatora
they
will
may not want to
these
listen
chicks.
now, but they will. They'll come like yo.
I think she will open hand slap one of these chicks, and pray for her later. You understand what I'm saying? Because
especially at your home church, because you already know how they roll.
Hey,
no,
man,
but
listen.
But here's my
these chicks are the problem.
But here's my thought though, right?
Well, we let them do it though. Because
you
right, we let them do it.
You're right. Oftentimes they may not listen at a certain phase of life, but when you're at that phase of life that you're willing to subject yourself to a balloon pop to find a partner.
Yo, that's
you might want to start listening to some women who got more than a decade in on marriage. You know what I mean?
They already have 2 or 3 kids, B.
Huh?
They have 2 or 3 kids by them, 2 different men.
And that don't, that don't mean it's over for them. I mean,
that don't mean it's over, but that means that the stock level done went down.
See, now y'all done,
that's what the balloon pop was about. Homegirl said she had 10 kids.
The issue is when you have 2 kids by 8 different baby dads, right? Because you don't know whose it is. That's when the problems come into play, right? You got 2 kids by 8 different baby dads.
Your wife says she's a
and you end up on more.
Ike is a wild dude too. He said 2 kids, 8 baby daddies, man.
I mean, it is. It's like that, yo.
Look at what my sister say. She's a Baptist. She's not playing that now.
Me too, bro.
She was slap one of them chicks.
Not when I was coming up.
She tried to put them in. She tried to give them knowledge.
What is it? Backhand Baptist?
Was that Baptist? Baptist?
Yo, but I think that's part of it too, though. Male and female. Like, I don't care what people say, but like, yo, people just stop going to church because at least there's a difference between accountability and standards. I wouldn't even just say, I would just say they at least the generation we came up in. Now, we know that there's pros and cons, whatever. But there was a standard. And the women and the men, because the men also came to us too, was like, hey, fix your tie, or hey, make sure you button it this way, or like you want to rock these, like, yo, why you walking like that? Like, yo, man, hold your head up when you walking.
You know what part of
those things were important coming up.
You know what part of the standard disappeared?
When
every one of us grew up during the 4 of us on here, and pretty much everybody in the chat. And I know Tracy gonna really love this one. Calvin gonna love it too, because I remember we done singled out.
Young.
Yo, it was like, yo, listen. Oh, you see that person over there? My older brothers and cousins be like, yo, go get her number and come back.
Bro.
You know what I mean?
Yo, that was yes.
And then
I did that when I was pledging in the mall, man. I hated that crap.
Right.
Gary.
I hated it. Now, and then if you were successful,
get the number.
If you were successful in getting the number, right?
I sure got it.
Step 2 was you now had to call somebody's house.
Yep.
And you ain't know if it was gonna be
mom or
who
dad
was gonna
answer first, right? Yep. You didn't know who was gonna answer the phone, right?
Right. So
if she really liked you though, she was gonna answer the phone. She was answering every call that day.
Nah, she didn't know. She didn't know your number.
No. I'm saying if she gave me a number.
Calvin, you a young boy, Calvin. I mean, you may have an old soul.
So mom,
you're still a young boy, man.
So mom or dad answer the phone, and you gotta be like, hello, Mr. and Mrs. You know what I mean?
I see my niece showing out too, Calvin. I'm glad she got her mother's
Hey, Mr. Jones, Mrs. Jones, can I speak to such? Like, yo, who is this? Who are you? You better have, you know what I mean?
That's twice now. You had the kick game, really, because you had to kick it to her. Then you got to talk to the parents and get them to agree to give you the phone.
Now, that's all out the window. Like, no standards. Hey, yeah, I could text you. I don't ever have to communicate with your parents. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you Trina said turn ringers off and wait for it to light up.
I had that
listen, my mother used to say, listen, tell her not to call my house no more. Back in the day when you don't have, my mom used to be straight, like she don't have no manners. You understand?
Ooh,
I'm a Jamaican household boy. My mom would be like, she don't know to say good evening, good night.
Listen, that matters.
Tell her I don't call about me else.
But think about how powerful that is, right? Because it was setting a standard, right? The standards are what we're talking about right now. The standards going out. The standards in the basement. The standards is in hell. They ain't even in the basement no more. They in hell, man. They really are. Like, you know what I mean?
It's in purgatory.
Like you said, if she can't say, you know, good evening, how are you? Like, yo, you know what I mean? And you see, like, man, I work with you. I see you.
Tracy said you could kill a goat, man. Tracy,
Yo, that remind me of you, bro.
A goat, Tracy. It ain't that easy. You could teach her to kill a goat and skin a goat. You know what I'm saying? You got to know how to use.
Tracy know how to do that, man. Y'all got to check out this man's backyard. Like,
all right,
Tracy's very skillful, man.
He is handling everything.
My apologies.
Tracy can live off the land, that's for sure. Tracy can live off the land.
Brother can cook too. Shout out to Charleston House, man. Let us know when it's coming back.
Yo,
we need them wings.
Ask him, Tracy. Tell him what I asked you the other day when I saw you.
We need them wings.
You just need.
That's what I said. I said, bro, I need some wings.
You need to have bRho as a special guest in the kitchen once or twice a month on the weekend.
Yo, Tracy, just get a food truck, bro. Get a food truck.
Have
just
bRho
come out when you want to, man.
Nah, man. Open Charleston House back up. I need somewhere to go, bro.
I promise you. When they hear that bRho in the kitchen over there,
so
you'll see sales up.
You kill a goat, man. That's a sacrifice. That fried okra was good too.
Yes,
or you could always ride the goat.
Charleston wings.
I think he already did that
one. Those standards that used to exist in our community, man, you don't see that no more, man. You know, my friends, right? We lived right down the street from a church, and we was walking down the street, and we was talking about something. You know what I mean? Not even crazy, not even too crazy.
Yeah, Bishop McCullough, man. Shout out.
We get in front of that. We get in front of that church. Yo, it would be like, yo, chill, son. They'd be like, oh, well. Like, yo, you point at the church. Everybody knew. Stop. You know what I mean? Man, Cass will, man, drink and right on the church steps. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Leave liquor bottles right on the church step, man. You know, funerals, man, they all out in front of the church smoking and drinking. Like, the standards don't exist anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I apologize, man. I got to stop that.
Yeah, I got to check them.
Yeah, listen. Believe me. You know what I'm saying? We have the conversation, but there's a way. Right now, you gotta know how to navigate that because once upon a time they could just like, yo, you could just check our generation. You can be like, yo, I know you're not out here doing that. You know what I'm saying? Bro. You say something like that to these young cats who don't know you, and it's about to be it's about to be left. You gotta, you know what I'm saying? You gotta have the ability to be able to
I checked two people at my grandma's funeral, man. At the church, dude had a drink in his hand, in a cup, had a blunt in his ear, and walking into the church. I said, man, you can't go inside, man. I said, come on, man. What you going in there for? Yo, I said, no. You know what I'm saying? Another little dude, light up. My mom was sitting there, little light up. I said, yo, man, walk with that shit, bro. Excuse my language. Sorry. I said, walk, man.
Cursing you, and you cursing at the church.
No, that wasn't the church. That wasn't the church. That wasn't the church.
No, just joking, bro.
That wasn't the church. I said, you know, we have the thing we call a night. You know, people sing, they eat, chill out. So that was like the celebration before the funeral. This dude was a little young dude, man, smoking around my mom, and I'm like, yo, dude, hey, man.
Yeah, man. Well, listen, I remember a time where, again, me and my friends, we didn't like. Again, my wife will tell you they tease me to this day. They used to be like, man, we would be around. Like when me and my wife started dating, she would tell, you know, my sister would be like, hey, tell my love to cuss because he don't know how to cuss, so he sounds stupid when he do it. You know what I mean? So, you know, so we wasn't even cussers like that. But if we were gonna try to, you know, be big and bad like with our little friend groups, man, and let one slip or something like that. We knew there was no way in the world if an adult was around we was going, man, this generation is different. They don't care who you are, how old you are, man. They see all these grades and they don't mean that, man.
But if you ask them, right, it's if you want me to respect
right,
you,
brother.
you gotta respect me. If
Calvin, you're right.
Yeah, what Calvin said is absolutely right, and we know
Bro,
Calvin.
Hey man, I'm so proud of you, bro.
Yeah.
Ain't no cap.
Yeah,
I'm really
that's
proud
real.
of you, man.
That's real.
I'm just glad that your son and your daughter, have their mother's athletic abilities. That's all. Other than that,
Yo.
you know what I'm saying? I love you. You're my guy. You already know that from day one. Cowboy fan. You know what I'm saying?
You're
the only Cowboy fan that I like. Put it that way.
I mean, I ain't gonna tell it all, but I just remember at one of the parties, man, we had to be like, yo, Calvin, man, like, cause I felt bad for the other person.
Calvin was a young Thundercat, man. Calvin was a young Thundercat,
man. Calvin doesn't get his stuff straight at Brockport because man,
Calvin.
Listen, I was gonna put B. We was gonna put that thing on.
Calvin wanted, like, I'm telling you, Calvin had to be like 12, 13, man, when I met this dude, man. James introduced me to him. This dude would want to smoke with any little young dude from 12, 13 years old. I was like, man, he that. Listen, he ain't got no problem.
I had plans for Calvin, man. I said, yes, we got another big rough dude coming. Oh, yes. You know what I'm saying? He was gonna be on the study, boy. You know what I'm saying? I was gonna teach him all the brew tricks.
Yeah. But you know what, man? Hey, we grow and we mature. And when we find that right woman, that compliments us, we mature, we grow up, we have children, you know what I'm saying? And things start to move in the direction, that we talk about.
What you saying that if Calvin want to do this thing, I wouldn't put it on him just like that? That's what you said?
I ain't saying nothing like that. I went in a whole different direction.
I'll be in Dallas in the heartbeat, Cal. Hey, man. I bring it with me, baby.
Yeah, I mean, we ain't got time to get into this though, but I'll just say, like, when we were in college, man, like it was a lot less talking. It was a lot less talking. It was a lot of action. It was a lot of that going on.
That's correct. That's correct, man.
I'll just say that.
That's
so
correct.
that was how we lived out our emotions.
I thought you was in Dallas, bro.
Oh, nah, he been there. He been in
I didn't know he was in Houston. I thought he was in Dallas.
Yeah, he been there. All right, bro. Let's get into that time, man. This is such a great conversation.
Shout out to B Port, baby.
Yes, sir.
Always represent, man. Always represent my B Port girl.
No doubt. Real quick, man. Shout out to the local owned black business. Just wanted to shout out the Rock Royal Foundation. Khadijah Yawn, man. She's definitely doing her thing within the community. Definitely holding it down for the youth, for adults. For kind of anybody that's in need, man. The entertainment. Just a great spirit. So if you get a chance, I know she's got her summer camp starting up this summer. She's got probably about 100 kids that she's gonna be working with, plus another 50 on the wait list, hoping that one of them fall off. So that just speaks to the amount of time, energy, and effort that she puts into the work that she does. So Calvin, man, we definitely appreciate you tuning in.
Much love, bro.
Yes. So definitely wanted to shout her out. Check it out, Rock Royal Entertainment and Rock Royal Foundation. Great opportunity to support, to make sure that young people and the money is going back to young people within our community. So
let me just say something about KD real quick, man.
Hey, Calvin, tell my sister I say hi.
KD is one of the few people I know that just gives and gives. She does not keep count, bro. Like, if KD got it, that's just as good as you having it. So, man, she is a treasure in our community, man. So, if any, like Ike, you said, man, if any
Heart of
way that we
gold.
can support, yeah, man, any way we can support her and what she's doing in her
Heart
team,
of gold.
yeah,
Hey,
seriously, like,
KD,
and it's genuine.
if y'all having like a little cookout or something, man, watch it on the weekend. You know what I'm
Like,
saying?
yo, Katie,
I got
Katie,
you. Just
like a
hit me
lot
up.
of last year at the HBCU game that was we was hosted here in Rochester.
I was supposed to come up. I was supposed to come up and do some thing for that.
Man, Katie set up shop and just fed people no charge. Just, you know what I'm saying, cooking and just come by and get food. You know what I'm saying? She just like out of her own pocket. Like, hey, listen, we're gonna put it together, boom, 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 and just fed people. She just, again, she always giving.
Yeah, so she always giving, man. If you know KD, tag her to this post, hit her with the @ and let her know I shouted her out. So, KD, I need something from that. You know what I mean?
KD always support, man. I have nothing but love, man, for her.
Yeah, no doubt, man. KD came a long way for sure, man. Like, I
been
remember
in the family for a long time too.
Yeah. You know, working with her at a community place, and I remember when we were there, like, you know, I think she probably did her first breakfast with Santa event. You know, that's kind of how she got her feet wet with the events in the community, and she blew that thing up. You know what I mean? So at a certain point, this got too big for, you know, Parcells and, you know, being at the community place. So she just continued to grow it. She, you know, got partnerships. She's got, you know, foundations that support her because of the great work that she's doing in the community. So kudos to KD, man. Keep Khadijah Yawn. Let me say her full name. Keep doing your thing. Baby? Yeah, we definitely appreciate you.
Sis, we love you, man. Continue doing that great work. You know,
everybody that was in the chat. I'm just jump in real quick, bros. Trina, Calvin, Tracy. We definitely appreciate y'all tuning in. To my bro Chris, man, it's been a long time, man. We always appreciate you tuning in. Always have great insights.
Yo, Chris be hitting them hard on that political level, boy.
No doubt.
Shout out to Chris is a bro.
No. I said he be hitting them hard on the political tip. Like, he be going, guns are blazing. Shout out to Chris.
No doubt. Calvin, man, we appreciate you. Always good to see you, frat. Who else do we have in here today? We got Calvin. Satoya, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Appreciate you. Congratulations. Went ahead and mastered it. Shout out to you for everything that you did and everything that you do. Who else we got in here? Nick, good to see you, frat. Thanks for tuning in. Of course, Calvin, Mr. Tony Jordan.
Calvin.
Yep. I definitely shout out Calvin a few times, man. We definitely appreciate you tuning in as well, too. Shout out to you and the family. I see your daughter out there in the field too, man. Destroying them girls, man. So
I'm trying to tell you,
a chance, man.
Hey, look back at mama, man. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Cook food.
Man, yeah. I'm watching videos. I'm like, yo,
killing them.
That's what's up, though, man. Yeah, shout out to you, but shout out to my family. Definitely, missing my baby girl right now. Praying that she's well. I'm about to send her a text. I don't care how late it is.
Hey, I better give her.
You know she up.
Yeah, she better respond too. But definitely, definitely miss her. And I definitely just want to shout out you brothers, man. It's always good. Like I said, it's. I just got done cooking like 2 minutes before we went on, and I'm just like, if I could, I'd just go down, eat this food and lay down and go to sleep. But it's always good to get on, the show and have these dialogues and conversation with you brothers. And, it's even better when we have, the support that we had tonight with people in the chat. So if you are in the chat, man, make sure y'all continue to join us. I know I sent out a quick blast to all my followers on Facebook, but that's only like 17 people. So all 17 of you that joined, man, definitely appreciate y'all coming on board. But for real, like, we definitely want to get the word out. These are always good conversations. And if you think it's a great conversation, share it with somebody and let them know, to come and join in the conversation with us as well. So those are my shout outs, and I'll pass it on.
Yo, I'm gonna say my wife for last. Yo, my cousin is running for Atlanta Public School board. Doctor. Hold on, let me get it right. Dr. Jonathan Smith Leon. So
yes.
So man, he's been doing a great work down there. So if you can go check him out, go check out his page. You know what I mean? You know, if you know anything about campaigning, you know it takes a lot of work, a lot of effort. You know what I mean? A lot of resources and support. So if you can go on, you know what I mean, show love. You know what I mean? And he'd be greatly appreciated. And again, if you know him, you know the brother can get it done. So you know what I mean? Support. And if you're down in the A, man, vote. If you know somebody down in the A, tell them to vote. You know what I mean? Jonathan Smith Leon. So yeah, shout out, man, cuz, man, proud of you. Keep doing amazing work. Much love to you. And you know, to just again, this is my wife's birthday weekend, so it's all about her, man. Hey, you looking better every day, girl. So, you know, I'm just blessed and fortunate to get to do life with you. You know what I mean? So I hope, you know, I was able to show you all of the love and appreciation and admiration that I have for you, and just again how amazing you are to me. So happy birthday once again. Even though your post this morning said your birthday weekend has ended, but happy birthday once again. Love you.
Oh, look at that emotion. We love it. And it was masculine.
Kareem, do not get this.
You are on mute, bro.
Yeah, well, I'm glad he was on mute.
I said big man thing, none of that feminine thing, big man thing. So you got to do it, baby. You understand? You may have your plate ready by the time you get off the show, man. Ready for you.
Yo, listen, I'm telling you, if there's anybody looking for some knowledge, wisdom on how to, you know, solidify a household, and you know what I mean, my wife got it for you.
Hey, I'm gonna tell y'all though, she slapped something out of somebody though. Don't you gotta be serious. Baptist, old school.
Backhand too.
Hey, anyway, man, I want to say, hey man, this is my favorite time of the world at the time, man. Graduation, man. Shout out all the graduates that's graduating, walking that stage, man. Whether high school, college, grad program. I don't care if you're getting a trade degree, a trade license, man. You did it. Long nights, long days, all that good stuff, man. So I want to say congratulations to you guys. Shout out my alma mater, Brockport, College of Brockport State University of New York. Love and respect, always love and respect. Shout out to our mother, Miss P. We love you. All right. Shout out to Carla Facey. She celebrated a birthday a couple of days ago. I just want to say happy birthday to you, Carla. I didn't get to call you. My bad. I was out the country too. So that's my reason. But happy birthday. And that's it, man. Shout out to y'all fellas, man, and the family. Love and respect.
Appreciate it, man. For me, I got one shout out. That's to myself. You know, we talked about self-love. So shout out to me.
Hey, you gotta have it sometimes. Gotta have that.
Yeah.
Respect it, bro.
Respect it. Self-love, bro.
Yep. And shout out to all the black people. Y'all know who you are, man. And y'all know what y'all doing. Keep doing it.
Yes, sir.
But you YNs out there, man. Y'all gotta figure this thing out, man.
They're not listening to this. They'll listen to it in like 10 years.
Yeah,
Maybe
y'all gotta
15,
relax, man.
Hey, I just hope, man. Trump give me a couple $100,000, kick me out of that country, man. I'll be gone. I'm gonna lie to you. Hey, I'll be up out of here so fast. Y'all gonna wonder.
In order to get the money though, you gotta self-deport. So you gotta go to them.
I'm a citizen, man, but I'm okay to give that up. I'm okay to give that up if you want to give me a couple $100,000.
Listen, he only got 3.5 more years, man. That's it for him.
Hey man, I'm good to go, boy. Y'all, I've been smoking first class going down. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sending y'all pictures. Come on down.
Listen, yo,
Come on down, fellas.
when the world about to end and the tribulation come, you know all that stuff happening over there, right?
Hey,
Ain't happening
listen,
over here.
it's okay. It's okay.
I mean, some of it is, but
hey,
majority
Kareem,
of it is over there.
Hey, that's what you think, Kareem. You know what I'm saying? You got to cross the Atlantic. The Atlantic is a long way to cross.
I'm gonna get there. I'm
It's
gonna
a
get
long
there.
way. It's like
we
5 hours.
Unfortunately, we not the only country with a nuke. So yeah.
Hey, Kareem
Gotta
said
be
it's
careful.
gonna happen over there before you get here. So
Listen, it happen everywhere.
hey man.
And
It's all
anywhere.
right, brother.
Man, y'all have a good night.
I
We
got,
about to get off. We
I
about
got
to
food
get off, man.
downstairs. I'm trying to pull a Kareem right now. I'm hungry, yo.
Man, I've been having these chips in my